UPI basically in India has ensured high efficiency and it has brought in high efficiency into the payment system. The payments are safer, faster, instant and cheaper. UPI has got actually a lot of potential for cross-border payments. We are in discussion, as I mentioned, with several other countries. Going forward, I see UPI, the linkage of India's UPI and the fast payment systems of countries, not only in our region, but coming to the other parts of the world. The future of currency, the future of money will be digital. There is no escape from that. The shape of money and future of payments is it's going to be influenced largely by the rapid advancements that we have in technology in this particular space. And I would like to highlight on two aspects. One is the fast payment systems. In the case of India, it is the UPI, the Unified Interface. And I would like to highlight on the efforts of India and few other countries on CBDCs, that is Central Bank Digital Currencies, where we have launched a pilot project, a pilot 2 years ago. Now, coming to first the fast payment systems like UPI, India is one of the pioneering countries. UPI basically in India has ensured high efficiency and it has brought in high efficiency into the payment system. The payments are safer, faster, instant and cheaper. And today the number of transactions that take place in UPI per day is about 500 million transactions per day. And that's a whole, that's a huge amount of, a huge number of transactions. But then we are trying to even step it further. And the idea is to reach 1 billion transactions maybe in the next few months. The number of transactions were about 300 million about a year ago. Now it has reached 500 million. Now that is so far as the number is concerned. UPI has got actually a lot of potential for cross-border payments. We have also taken the initiative of linking the UPI of India with the fast payment system of other countries. And we have started the process by linking the Singapore fast payment system, that is Pay Now, with the UPI of India. And the effort is on to have similar arrangements with other countries. And on QR code based payments, we have linkage already with countries like Mauritius and countries in our part of the world like Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal. And we are in discussion with several other countries in the Middle East and in Asia to have this linkage. So for cross-border payments, UPI has proved its efficiency. And this will be particularly easy, very useful for students, for travelers, business travelers, for tourists, and that's it. The third point I would like to mention in the context of UPI is that we have now attempted and actually put in place a method for offline payments. You see, in a large country like India, the availability of connectivity, the connectivity is a problem in remote areas where either the connectivity is weak or it is simply not there. So we have now facilitated offline transactions on the UPI. And the UPI, we are in discussion, as I mentioned, with several other countries. Going forward, I see UPI, the linkage of India's UPI and the fast payment systems of countries, not only in our region, but coming to the other parts of the world. In fact, in France also already in a few places, it is launched in Paris. So therefore, this can actually make global cross-border payments much more efficient than it is today. Now, turning to CBDC, the Central Bank Digital Currencies, the RUPEE pilot was launched by us sometime in November of 2022. We started first on the wholesale mode, and then within a month, we started the pilot on the retail mode. And today, it's a pilot project, and we are in no great hurry to immediately announce a nationwide rollout because we want to do the trials, fully convince ourselves about the design features, about the robustness, about the security of our CBDC, and then only think of a nationwide rollout. Now, today we have about nearly about, let's say, 6 million users in the retail payment in UPI, of which about 5.5 million users are the retail customers, that is individuals, and about 500,000 are merchants, shops, and other establishments. The trials are going on every day. There are learning experiences, and we are constantly fine-tuning our system. Now, I have been asked this question as to, if UPI is working so well, why do you go for a central bank digital currency? The key difference between the two is that UPI is a payment system, whereas the CBDC is a currency. It's a liability on the books of the central bank. And it's not only a liability in the books of central bank, it also involves, it is just a replacement for paper money. In India, what we have done is that the issuance of the digital currency, the CBDC, we have the intermediation of the banks also, as it is in the case of the paper currency. Now, I have heard this question also at times that, whether the banks will join or whether the banks will demand a particular commission. Now, it is identical to paper currency, where we issue the notes to the banks issue it to the customers. Here, central bank generates the digital currency, the CBDC, the banks draw it, and the banks give it to their customers. The banks facilitate in creation of a wallet and then transfer the money into the wallet of the customer. The key advantage in this is that, unlike a paper currency, you draw the cash and you keep it in in your wallet, in your physical wallet. In the case of CBDC, you can draw it instantly, and at the end of the day, or whenever you want to use, if you feel that you don't need that much of currency, you can immediately online instantly put it back into your bank account. So that way, you can manage, individuals can manage their cash position much more efficiently. Now, few points I just want to mention on CBDC. Number one, first point is that it is highly efficient. The payments are instant, like the fast payment system. Second, CBDC is a great way, as we have experienced in India, to promote financial inclusion. Financial inclusion by, if payments have to be made to, let us say, certain beneficiaries of government support, of government subsidy, the government, or even in a private company, the private company wants to make payments to, its employees, for particular uses. So we see a great potential for financial inclusion, and we have recently, in fact, facilitated money transfer from government for, by way of cash support, which the government gives to certain poorer sections of the society. We have facilitated that by way through the CBDC mode. The third is that CBDC has the feature of programmability. You can program it in a certain manner that, again, if the government is, let us say, giving fertilizer subsidy, I'm just giving an example, the farmer can go and encash it only in a fertilizer depot. He cannot use it elsewhere. So therefore, government subsidy transfer becomes much more targeted. Even for companies, if they are giving, let us say, lunch vouchers or some, some other kinds of vouchers, it can be encashed in certain pre-designated, points. Fourth, we have also instituted interoperability between CBDC and UPI. The same QR code works between CBDC and the UPI. Fifth, the feature of offline functionality has also been introduced. Sixth, CBDC indeed has, I think, the biggest advantage of CBDC going forward, and the biggest potential of CBDC going forward is in cross-border payments, which we expect that because CBDC will avoid multiple intermediaries, it will ensure low-cost cross-border payment, cross-border money transfer, and faster and instantaneous money transfer. Now, the way forward, and I will be very quick. What is the way forward? The way forward is to have multilateral arrangements, to have bilateral arrangements, preferably multilateral arrangements to begin with at a regional level, and scaling it up at a global level, depending on whether the other countries are introducing CBDC. So it can become it can become a model for fast, cheap, and safer transfer of money across countries. What is important in this context is to ensure robustness of design and the safety of the currency. One challenge that we have here is that, in a paper note, the security features, they vary from country to country. But in CBDC, the dilemma will be whether we have common security features across countries, or each country will have its own security feature. Now, these things will evolve as the time passes. And the other point which also has to be looked at is that the anonymity of the digital currency also has to be ensured, because the paper currency has a certain amount of anonymity. So if you have to ensure anonymity, you need legal backing, and also you need technological design in a manner that the anonymity can be established. And now, what are the risks in the matter of CBDCs? First, CBDC, because the payments are online, the payments are instant, it can create a situation of faster transmission of shocks. If there is an economic shock in one part of the world or in certain countries, it may lead to a faster transmission of shock to other countries. The second is that it has the risk of currency substitution. When, let us say, one currency of one country and currency of another country, there is a possibility that, one currency between the two will substitute the other. Now, these are risks, and we need to work on this to find methods and measures to mitigate these risks. And these are challenges. I would not call them risks, but I would call them challenges which have to be dealt with. Third, it may also create capital flow volatility because of faster transfer of money across the border, across countries. So these are risks, but I would prefer to call them as challenges of the future, and technological solutions have to be found for this. Systemic solutions have to be found for this, and I think all of us need to work together. In conclusion, I would like to say that the future of currency, the future of money will be digital. There is no escape from that, and there is no need to be skeptical about whether we should have a CBDC in parallel to a UPI, because there are two different systems. They can talk to each other, they can become interoperable, and CBDC is currency, whereas UPI is, as I said, a payment system. And CBDC, because of its design features and because of the, the way technology is evolving, it can have multiple use cases. The true potential and the full potential of CBDC is yet to be seen, and it will evolve. And finally, if I can say, I think CBDC and fast payment system working in parallel, they will act as a backup for each other. Just imagine a situation where the fast payment system of countries, due to some reason, there is a technological problem, and suddenly the system gets jammed. But you have as a backup the CBDC to ensure payments, the payments going on in a normal manner. So therefore, they will act as both fast payment systems and CBDC will act as a backup for each other in times of crisis, or if there is a breakdown in one. We cannot rule out such possibilities. It can happen, and we cannot be complacent about it. And we need to, I think, to conclude, the last line I would like to say, I think CBDC has a lot of potential. Fast payment systems have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential for faster and more efficient cross-border payments. And I think multilateral cooperation in many aspects, in all aspects of this, including design, including legal arrangements, etc., there is a need for greater multilateral cooperation in this area.